The moment happened during the episode Billion Dollar Clues. Gary Drayton was sweeping the shoreline with his metal detector when he picked up a signal that didn't fit any familiar pattern. It wasn't the crisp chirp of silver, not the flat response of iron. This was deeper, fuller, almost resonant. After decades of searching across continents, Gary knows how buried objects speak. This signal felt off. It hinted at empty space where solid ground should have been. When heavy equipment was brought in, the bucket struck timber. The sound that echoed back wasn't dull. It boomed hollow, like striking a drum. Wood only sounds like that when there's open space behind it. Gary stopped cold, detector still in his hand. In all his time on Oak Island, he had never heard anything like it. Rick Lagina, standing nearby, heard it too. His expression changed instantly. After 13 seasons of setbacks, skepticism, and staggering financial commitment, he understood what that echo implied. Something was down there. Not random debris, not natural rock, something constructed. For weeks, experts had struggled to explain strange underground readings in the area. The formations didn't behave like normal geology. Natural erosion doesn't create clean, hollow voids like that. As the team dug deeper, the reality became impossible to ignore. Those anomalies weren't natural formations. They were walls. Man-made walls, carefully placed at a depth designed to remain stable despite shifting tides. That level of construction demands an understanding of water flow, soil stability, and structural planning. It suggests knowledge of hydraulic systems and pressure control. Expertise far beyond what 1700s pirates would realistically possess. Whoever built this chamber knew exactly how groundwater moves through Earth. They understood how to counteract tidal force. They engineered a seal capable of surviving centuries. This wasn't a hurried pit dug by treasure-hungry buccaneers. It was methodical, strategic, intentional. When the breach finally opened, the crew prepared for disaster. Every major excavation in Oak Island history had been sabotaged by sudden flooding. They braced for seawater. It never came. The seal held. Instead, a rush of trapped air escaped, carrying the unmistakable scent of ancient timber and long-sealed earth. It smelled like history, like a space that hadn't breathed in hundreds of years. There was a deeper note in that air, too. The musty trace of old wood, cut in an era when medieval monarchs still ruled Europe. Inside, the chamber walls bore the marks of hand tools. No machine precision, just deliberate craftsmanship. Strokes made by builders who worked with patience, measured in seasons, not deadlines. Marty Lagina arrived shortly after. He looked down into the darkness and stood there in silence. Then quietly, "This is it. This is what we've been searching for. This chamber may finally solve a mystery that has baffled researchers for over 2 centuries. What if the money pit flood tunnels were never designed as booby traps? What if they were part of a sophisticated water management system built not to flood treasure hunters out, but to redirect water away from something far more important? This concealed chamber. If that's true, then every shaft dug over the last 200 years was targeting the wrong location. The real vault may have been here all along, hidden beneath the shoreline, protected by engineering centuries ahead of its time. And even now, enormous pressure bears down on it, layers of saturated soil and ocean weight pressing against timber that has endured for generations. The question is no longer whether something was hidden. The question is why it was hidden so perfectly, and who possessed the knowledge to build something like this in the first place. The risk of catastrophic collapse has never been higher. One wrong move, one rushed decision, and whatever lies inside that chamber could be crushed, flooded, or lost before it's ever documented. No one understands that better than Rick Lagina, standing at the edge of the fleeting opportunity, or press forward and risk destroying the very thing they've spent over a decade chasing. He chose to push ahead. Reaching the chamber came at a cost. The money pit fought back. Season 13 marked the most aggressive strategy the team had ever attempted, larger excavation zones, heavy machinery moving in close, and a determined effort to finally control the water in the central dig area. Rick and Marty Lagina committed everything to this push. Years of planning, millions of dollars, and the weight of 13 seasons of expectation. Then, without warning, the ground gave way. A hidden void collapsed beneath the surface, triggering a violent chain reaction. Massive equipment tilted toward the opening. Crew members scrambled, shouting warnings over the roar. The earth trembled. Muddy water surged through nearby shafts, contaminating samples and scrambling months of data. A plume of dust shot skyward, visible all the way to the causeway. The sound was unforgettable. A deep, grinding rumble as tons of soil shifted and settled into the darkness below. And then, silence. The heavy, dreadful silence that follows disaster, when everyone is counting heads and praying no one was taken with the earth. Gary Drayton was working on the outer edge of the island when he felt the tremor. He saw the dust cloud rising from the money pit zone. "That's not good," he muttered, already moving to clear the area. "That's really not good. Operations shut down immediately." Cameras stopped rolling. Safety crews moved in. The money pit was sealed off, deemed too unstable for anyone to approach. Authorities intervened with stop work orders, as geological reports confirmed a troubling reality. The limestone and gypsum layers beneath the island are gradually dissolving, a natural process, thousands of years in the making. Every drill, every shaft, every excavation speeds that decay. Oak Island is literally coming apart. Viewership may be climbing, audiences drawn to the high-stakes drama from the safety of their living rooms, but for Rick, Marty, and the crew, this isn't entertainment. It's danger, and it's escalating. A collapse at 100 feet deep isn't minor. The shock spreads outward, weakening surrounding shafts, distorting readings, undoing decades of work in seconds. What took generations to uncover can vanish in a single moment. But what happened next stunned everyone. When the earth caved in, it exposed something no one had documented before, a debris layer buried deep below. From the wreckage, timber fragments emerged, and they didn't match the searcher tunnels from the 1800s. The wood bore hand-cut markings, tool signatures consistent with medieval craftsmanship. The collapse erased evidence, but it also revealed a secret hidden for 6 centuries. The artifacts recovered in Season 13 aren't pirate-era relics. They're medieval. Carbon dating places human activity on Oak Island between 1350 and 1400 AD, long before Columbus sailed west. That timeline forces a difficult question. Have searchers been focused on the wrong target for over a decade? If the true story was unfolding in Lot 5 and beneath the shoreline, while attention remained fixed on the money pit, then years of effort, millions spent, relentless labor, even the 6 lives lost in pursuit, may have followed a carefully engineered misdirection. And the implications stretch far beyond this island. If Europeans were constructing advanced underground systems in Nova Scotia during the 1300s, then accepted history faces a serious challenge. Yes, Norse explorers reached North America around 1000 AD. That's well established. But their settlements were temporary. What Season 13 suggests is something entirely different. A coordinated expedition, skilled, funded, equipped to build concealed permanent infrastructure. Tools recovered from Lot 5 resemble designs used in medieval France and Scotland, the same types employed in building castles and cathedrals. These weren't crude digging implements. They were construction tools meant for large-scale architectural projects. Rick Lagina held one of the recovered wood fragments, running his fingers along the surface. The adze marks were clear, shallow curved impressions, left by a tool not commonly used for half a millennium. The timber was dense and heavy, saturated from centuries underground, yet remarkably intact. Each mark reflected intention, the angle of the blade, the controlled force, the precision of a builder who expected this structure to endure. This isn't searcher debris, Rick said quietly. This is original. This came from the builders. He passed the fragment to the archaeologist beside him. The room fell silent. They were staring at physical evidence of medieval construction beneath Nova Scotia soil, evidence that shouldn't exist if conventional history is complete.